Peace, love, and reparations. Welcome to Black Star TV 2.0. It's your boy Black Star. Come in and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and please share this out and go to blackstartv.store and go copy your merch. Family, listen, man, these reparations commissions, we have to watch them because they are slick and they are now trying to come out and, make it seem like they have something for us, but really this is just something for them to try to make Trump look bad. So I'm going to read something to y'all. It says, California brings new state reparations bill amid Trump's onslaught of DEI, the fight for justice. Now, before I even go into this article, I actually want to read our sister Camilla Moore's post because she actually posted this article. And she said, in the final days of the last legislation session, bowing to the pressure from Newsom's office, which wanted to see additional genealogy studies to determine eligibility, included the bill, the caucus pulled the package entirely. Dozens of advocates rushed to the state capitol to protest in the heated standoff against the legislators. So last month, the caucus reintroduced a version of the bill that, to the frustration of advocates, included additional research requirements to determine eligibility for recipients. Even Camilla Moore, the former task force chair, has been critical of this strategy. They created a different agency that's dependent on additional study on genealogy, said. And I think it was a mistake. And for real, watch this when it comes down to that. They're making all these task force and you're having all these people that are getting paid. See, everybody's getting a little check besides foundational Black Americans. Now, it says the task force made more than 100 recommendations in its 1,000-page report. Moore said in the caucus should have used those as its North Star, yet she says they have deviated from the course. Now, I want to get to the article. Now, it says State's Black Caucus faces array of advocates as they demand urgent implementation given hostile political climate. See, now we putting the pressure on them. That's because they are getting the pressure put on them. As a matter of fact, in one part of the article, it actually says the Black Caucus faces a growing choir of frustration from reparations advocates who are demanding even more ambitious policy proposals and swift implementation. Now, I'm about to show a video for y'all real quick. I want to show a video real quick. And then, because these people are and I'm going to get to this sister. That's going to be the last video I'll show y'all. She burns it down. When I mean the sister burnt it down, man, shout out to her. I'm going to play that in a second. Now, family, now I'm about to show y'all old girl. Now I'm about to show you. I don't even know if I was even showing y'all that damn screen. But hold on. Here she go. Yo, our sis blows it down, and shout out to her. Because, yo, listen, when it comes to these reparations task force, one, you got to understand that, you know, they're hiring these people to do these studies and all this old craziness. And I'm guaranteeing you that 90% of them aren't foundational Black Americans, that they're hiring to do all these studies and all this stuff. And people are getting money. Feel me? But they're also trying to muddy the waters with this whole race-based thing, and that's what our sister's about to break down. Here we go.
To the commission, you were set up to fail. Other commissions had executive directors, staff, research, and legal teams, and this one, you weren't even allowed to speak to each other before being sworn in. Does that include relatives, or is that a conflict? Anyway, if you know the law, you know that this bill and this commission is a time-wasting, heel-spinning joke. More democratic symbolism over substance. Why pass a blatantly illegal, unconstitutional bill, then use taxpayer funds for a commission? Commissioners may not be getting paid, but other staff and researchers are. Race-based compensation will never become law. And this isn't just a valid point, it's constitutional law. And as we have seen with the overturning of DEI and affirmative action, labeling it African descent doesn't change its race-based nature. Legislators can pass bills, but that doesn't mean they'll survive legal scrutiny. Legal scrutiny like Ed Blum, who is laser focused on knocking this bill down. The Freedmen Project went to legislators and told them that they got it wrong. They told them they wanted it amended. They told them to repeal the existing bill currently signed into law. The Freedmen came in hand with a constitutional bill with the recipients based on our legal status as freedmen. They went around to different legislators and the Assembly and State Senate. They talked to them, they sat with them, they sent letters and phone calls, but due to what I can only assume is the inability of legislators to see themselves benefiting from this legal bill, we faced what we always face in this country, except this time it's from skin folk, proving in action that they aren't the kinfolk of the FBA freedmen. How telling is it that we're getting the same treatment as we have with other legislators who don't share our skin? How does this free us? I guess the legislators would be unqualified to tell us, or they are purposely sabotaging our reparations because they do not have a bill that's worth a hill of beans. So there may be only 44 million of us, but we are 44 million who are used to fighting. And I don't mean to sound pejorative, but we are 44 million who don't run from a fight. Foundational Black American impact and influence, our presence over power is so effective in fighting that people immigrate here from all over the world to benefit from the fruits of and the gains of the civil rights that we fought and died for. Since this bill is already deader than a doornail, I come to speak before my neighbors. I come to serve you notice that when this bill dies, we, the FBA freedmen, will remain standing and fighting as we have for centuries on this land drenched in our blood. And in closing, include in your report that this bill is unconstitutional and illegal and isn't worth the paper it's written on, and you know it. Have a good day.
Man, she burnt them down. I need somebody like that in my life. Yo, listen, spit nothing but facts. Race-based ain't gonna get us nowhere, and they know that. We have to watch out for these reparation commission finesses, because that's what they are. They're straight up finesses, and these people are doing things just to, this is why they came out with this whole DEI thing, with the whole DEI, they're fighting against Trump and the onslaught, and okay, again, DEI is like everybody. You ain't getting reparations for everybody, so again, this is why they want to start another commission that is like, now you want to study genealogy. Now you're not only studying how much money we need to get and whether we deserve reparations or not, but now you got to have a study. Everything is about a study, and they talking about some 10 years to study genealogy. Nigga, somebody who never studied genealogy in their life can get a degree in genealogy and study it within less than 10 years. So it says, amid the Trump administration, full-throated attacks on diversity, equity, inclusion, Black lawmakers in California introduced a package of reparations bill that started a new legislation session. Black legislators say these attacks on racial equity, what the hell is racial equity? See, they love using these terms, these broad and ambiguous terms. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. But they use these terms that can like mean anything. What the hell is racial equity? Black legislators say these attacks on racial equity make it even more imperative to implement reparations in California, the first state in the U.S. to undertake such a process, which has become the blueprint for other state level reparation programs, which they've been finessing all around the country. These reparations commissions have been set up to fail, like she said, set up from the beginning. Absolutely set up from the beginning to fail. And that's because they keep trying to put this on some race-based stuff. Every time we tell them lineage or we tell them, yo, we need to go with the word freedman, they start talking all this African descent, all this. See, they know what they're doing. They know that the Black grassroots, that we have the solution, and they just try to do everything they can, and they're willing to crash out, as we see in California, to make sure we don't get anything. But it says, with the consistent attacks on civil rights and the rolling back of decades of progress, it is essential that we continue to fight for justice, said the state senator Ikala Pearson, chair of the Legislative Black Caucus. I guarantee you she's not even foundational Black American, because that first name don't even sound like a foundational Black American name. The bills, which are based on recommendations from the California Reparation Task Force Landmark 2023 report, include measures that could give priority in public university admissions for descendants of slaves, enslaved people. See, again, include, let's listen to this really slow, family. Includes measures that could provide priority, that can give priority in public universities. So you're not going to actually give us a seat in the university admissions. We just got priority to get in admissions. So you're just a priority. That ain't a guarantee. That ain't a guarantee admission. We just going to prioritize you. Man, listen to the words. Update the public elementary and high school curriculum to include impacts of segregation, slavery, and systematic discrimination. Where is the money? Everything that they always have a solution for Black people, there is never any money involved. Do y'all notice that? None of this closings the wealth gap. Nothing they just mentioned. Absolutely nothing. Prioritizing public university admissions, update the public elementary, high school curriculum. None of that closes the wealth gap. And require government agencies to conduct racial equity analysis. Again, what is racial equity? Please, family, if you know what racial equity means, please put it in the comments. I need you to. We need a definition for racial equity. It's the second package of reparation legislation introduced by the Black Caucus. Last year, only 7 of the 16 reparations bills introduced were signed into law. Most notably among them were the formal apology for the state's role in the perpetration of perpetration of slavery. Fuck that word. Internal division, as well as a veto from Gavin Newsom. The state governor led That just reminded me of there's this video of Bootsy trying to say, I forgot what word he was trying to say. He was tearing that word up. So listen, now I was funny because I was clowning him about that. Now I'm over here struggling with whatever that word was. The state governor led the three of the caucus signature bills, including one that could have created a mechanism for cash payments being defeated. See, again, anything time it comes to talking about this country, I see this word racial equity coming again too. Now, in addition to political climate that's becoming increasingly hostile to attempts at advancing racial equity, the Black Caucus faces growing chorus of frustration from reparations advocates who are demanding even more ambitious policy proposals and swift implementation. We are very confident in our package, which includes bills that have bipartisan support. I bet it does because it doesn't have any meat in it. The fact that the Republicans support our efforts shows that even in the current political climate, to need to repair the centuries' harm of imposed Black American goes beyond political affiliation. It's a moral obligation. Man, shut up. Advocates push back. Now, one of the main points of contention between Black Caucus and some of the reparation advocates is around the proposal to create a fund and agency to oversee statewide reparation programs. In the final days of the last legislation session, bowing to pressure from Newsom's office, which wanted to see additional genealogy studies to determine eligibility included in the bill, the caucus pulled the package entirely. And Black coons. Dozens of advocates rushed to the state's capitol in protest in the heated standoff against the legislators. Last month, the caucus reintroduced a version of the bill that, to the frustration of the advocates, included additional research requirements to determine eligibility for recipients. Man, all this is BS, bro. Task force add more than 100. I read that part already from our sister Camilla Moore. Shout out to her. We got mad love for Camilla. Now Moore and a group of reparation advocates are collaborating with the unlikely ally Republican Assemblyman Bill, a Trump supporter who has expressed support for reparations in the past. Yeah, man, because we don't care. We don't care. We rocking with anybody on any side of the aisle that's going to get us these checks. That's an absolute fact. That's why I respect Camilla and you know what I mean? Listen, man, she out here fighting, bro. She out here doing what it do. So while it draws on the Black Caucus original proposal that was pulled from a vote at the last minute, this version calls for the creation of a body called the Freedmen's Affairs Agency that would be modeled after the federal program that supported formerly. That's what we talking about. This agency could place fewer conditions on eligibility for reparation programs and payments. We already did a study called the California Reparations Task Force, said the organizer Chris Lodgeson, who works for the Reparations Advocacy Group Coalition for Just and Equitable California. He also helped to draft the Freedmen's Affairs Agency with Alexis. What we're interested in is actual implementation. Another criticism leveled against the Black Caucus is how it's spending the $12 million Newsom included in the last year's state budget for the reparations implementations. None of the money has been used yet. Reverend Pearson's office told The Guardian the proposal genealogy research alone would cost an estimated $6 million. Advocates, see again, bro, somebody's getting that money though. It's going to be a genealogy company that gets that bread, and they're not going to be Black. Advocates are frustrated that the money has still not been used, and that if a large chunk is spent on additional research, it could be siphoned away from any reparations programs, including any cash payment programs such as the CJEC having been pushed. Cash reparations were the central feature of the task force recommendations and could be part of the compensation both agencies would be tasked with considering. When asked about cash payment reparations, as a spokesperson for the Black Caucus said, substantial economic resources must be granted to Black Californians to correct the generational Well, what the hell is that were inflicted? Like, nigga, do you agree with cash payments reparations? Yes or no? Like, I don't know what the fuck you trying to make that shit sound all slick and smooth. Yeah, so Newsom has shied away from addressing the issue directly, saying that only reparations are about much more than cash payments. No, it ain't. Reparations ain't nothing but cash payments. You want to keep it all the way a buck. Shit. Bullshit. You shitting me. That shit ain't nothing but what's the name? Hey family, make sure y'all go to blackstartv.store. Make sure y'all hit that Cash App, $WILLIE 0312. Hit the Cash App. I'm up out of here. Family, peace, love, and reparations. Let's not let them finesse the waters. We got to keep pushing hard and keep standing on these task force neck. You know what I mean? So we can get these checks going. We out of here.
Is not a nicety. It's not something nice to have for black folk. It is now an absolute necessity. If you do not get reparations soon, black folk, as I told you before, are through. Reparation is not a nicety, it's a necessity. What are the conditions? What are the conditions that precipitated black folk getting into this dilemma? And what black labor, white wealth did, it tracked 800 years of history in very systematic terms to show you every strategy, every technique, every law, every public custom, and every public policy that was used to enslave black folk around the world and to maldistribute almost 100% of all this nation's wealth, power, resource, privileges, businesses, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. And what slavery and Jim Crow segregation did with black folk, it intentionally maldistributed all the resources away from black folk and created a real-life monopoly game. Black folk in America are playing in a real-life monopoly game that you're totally